Hi, I'm here today with Simone Costa. She's a senior coach and associate for TCO International. She's also our Brazilian specialist. And Simone, we were just speaking in a previous video about relationship building and communication styles. We also talked for a second about time management being slightly different. And I was just wondering, could you elaborate on how is time explained and thought of differently? What does a Brazilian mean when they make a time commitment? How should I interpret that as a non-Brazilian working there?
Oh, Vanessa, this is a great question. Most of my clients have problems specifically with this. The concept of time, we must remember that it's not the same everywhere we go, especially in Brazil. Time is a very fluid concept. And the most important, time is not important in a business relationship, and especially not in a personal relationship. Even though we live in a world where there are deadlines and there are business commitments, the idea of time is quite special. For instance, if someone is telling you that something will be ready by that day, what they actually mean is that they're going to do the best they can to deliver by that time. But in case they don't do it, they are trusting you to understand that they have done the best they could. So this is actually what is behind the thought of time commitment in Brazil. So from the foreigner point of view, it requires a lot of flexibility, because people will trust you if you are flexible and enough to understand what they mean. And to be focused on time only is not seen as something good.
Definitely adds an interesting element of surprise when projects come, and especially if there's a deadline that the company will start to lose a lot of money, and it will complicate other parts or other departments, or a relationship with other markets. So what could you say to, of course we can be flexible, but a manager, they might be getting messages from head office or outside saying, we don't care about flexibility, you need to meet this deadline. Any advice for that kind of a situation?
Yes, and this is very interesting. This is why what I mentioned before, you have to count that time. The concept of time is not the same. You have to know that as a foreigner in Brazil, and you have to put that in your time planning. You have to include the flexibility that you would need to go around checking and monitoring the process of the project on the different stages. So you have to actively go and really want to hear what is happening, and not only wait to the end. Because if you do that, your risks are bigger. So this is more or less what you can do. You can be actively looking for the problem so you can deal with them on the early stage, and you can also plan and give a margin in your timing for the cultural factor, I would say.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a really great suggestion and idea. And I'm just picturing also the situation where if I'm adding a little bit of extra buffer room, it's kind of a bit of a cultural buffer, and adjusting my time management plan around the appropriate for the context, which you also talk a lot about when working in Brazil, that context is essential to everything. So Simone, thank you for really great insights today on Brazil, and look forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you.